What's up, Scrubs? We got a mini podcast, a little special edition with Titans and Chiefs, also known as Derek and Lauren. So we're going to kick it off with the Getting Know segment. I'm going to start with Derek. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been playing Madden, what you do in real life, that kind of stuff.
Hey, I'm Derek. I don't really do that much. I'm in college right now, in my senior year, just finishing up some classes. I've been playing Madden since 2003, so quite a bit of time. Uh, my prime of Madden was probably around 2010, 2011. I've been slacking since then, still trying to recover from my old days. So, yep, that's me.
All right, cool. Lauren, how did you get pulled into this world of Madden? It's my understanding you haven't been playing too long. How did Derek get you interested?
It was kind of like I came home from work one night and I was told that I was in a Madden league. So it wasn't really voluntary.
So it's a very fast introduction to.
It's only been a few weeks.
I got you. I got you. Well, why don't you tell all the scrubs? I'm sure they're eager to know who you are and what you do in the real world and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay. I'm in college. I'm a junior. I study political science. I want to go to law school. Yeah. I'm 20 years old. I don't play Madden very often.
Well, you play often enough to beat Broncos, so that's really all that matters.
I did play by myself.
Yes, much to contrary belief in chat. You guys heard it here. Lauren beat Broncos all on her own. She didn't need any help at all or anybody else to play. So you've been in chat and in the league now for a couple weeks, or maybe about a month, I would say. What has been your observation of scrubs?
It's interesting to watch everybody talk to each other. It gets a little strange sometimes, so I stop reading.
What do you think about all the drama that happens in the league?
It seems a little silly sometimes.
Yeah, my wife is always surprised how much drama there is between 32, well, I guess 31 stranger guys now that we do have a lady in the league.
It kind of seems like a high school all over again.
Yeah, it can
Maybe
certainly
worse.
certainly go that way. And Derek, what has it been like for you having your girlfriend in Scrub?
She just needs to improve.
Okay, it's been like 3 weeks. You've been playing for 8 years. There's a huge difference.
And you're almost as good as me already. Look at that.
Shut up.
Let's play a little bit more.
And what will happen if she beats you when you guys play head to head?
Yeah,
That'll
that'll
never happen.
Come on, guys. You never know. Crazier things that have happened. Derek, let me ask you this. What would happen first? Her beating you or Jungle Cat winning the Super Bowl?
Her beating me, definitely.
There you go. Derek, you've been in the league. When did you join Scrubs?
I think I joined late July or maybe early July, probably. Sometime in July.
A little later than I thought. I know that you were in my division in Madden 16 and then somehow in Madden 17 as well. You had the.
Took over the Bengals
That's
and
right.
ran them into the ground.
Yeah, you had the Bengals. And then you found a good bit of success in Madden 16. So do you think that, or Madden 17 rather, do you think that's primarily because of the more talent you have on your roster, or what do you think's brought you more success in this Madden?
I think it's solely because I was able to draft my own team. That's probably the biggest reason. In Madden 16, I had an offense and no defense, but I don't know how to play offense, and I know how to play defense. So without any players on defense, I struggled the whole year.
And who do you think's been probably the most difficult person to play against?
Definitely Retro. He's one of the few people I have never beaten.
And did you guys meet in the playoffs this past Madden season?
Yep, that was the time I was drunk and decided to play right before Thanksgiving. but we had our rematch this year, and he beat me again, so I have no doubt that he would have beat me then too.
Yeah, he's pretty difficult to beat. He seems to be struggling a little bit with Pat-Man. We'll see if that's just a phase or if that's going to be a constant as the league goes on. So, Lauren, you've heard, or you've probably seen in chat that in July of this coming year, we're all going to try to go to Vegas. What do you think about Scrubs Vegas vacation?
That would be interesting. I mean, they're already threatened by me over just playing games. So, I mean, I don't know, it'd be a little, a little weird.
What would you think about Derek going to Vegas with a bunch of strangers from a Madden league?
Scared that anybody in the league's like weird or creepy, but I don't know any of them actually.
Billy's a little weird. He has a slight obsession with all things Asian.
Oh my goodness.
So has there been anybody in the league that has kind of rubbed you a particular way, good or bad, since you've been in?
Am I supposed to answer this question very honest?
He hates Bengals with a passion.
Why? Why do
A
you
little.
why do you hate Squish so much?
Okay, so the first night I got introduced to this entire thing, I was like reading through everything to like see what everybody talks about and like why it's such a big deal. And then the first thing that I like saw was that my name was like highlighted in one of the things. So I like scrolled up to see what it was, and it was someone said my name about telling the time of when something happens, and then some other person was like, the girl can probably even tell what time it is, and then the Bengals guy said, well, she can probably tell if there's a clock above the stove, and that kind of annoys me a little bit. I wasn't very happy. I almost quit.
And what's
I
your
didn't have a choice.
what's your just general overall opinion of our Bengals user?
He's a little rude, but he beat me. I can't really say much.
So Derek, you've been kind of I'm assuming you've brought Lauren into this, so you've been her tutor. If you had to give her any advice, kind of moving forward in the league, as far as gameplay goes, what would that be?
Stop throwing interceptions. Stop looking at somebody immediately and deciding to throw it to him, and look around the field and find the open guy.
I panic. I get scared that people are running after me, so I just throw the ball.
But don't worry, you're not the only one. We have some other people in the league that struggle with that as well.
My defense isn't that bad.
Yeah, I think when you played Broncos, you were all over as quarterback, from what I understand.
He fumbled a couple times.
After the Broncos game, she was number 3 in the league. So in defense, overall yardage. So
Mhm.
See, there you go.
Justin Houston is my defense.
So you're in this Madden league. Are you a football fan in real life? Do you watch football on Sunday and Saturday, or
I didn't really watch football until I moved in with Derek, and now it's a 12-hour Sunday thing every time. So I'm kind of forced to watch football, so I only started learning football when I moved in with him like a year ago.
Okay. And how long have you guys been dating?
It's been a year and 9 months
Okay.
this time.
All right. Wow. So y'all started dating when you were a freshman, is that right? So moving forward in the league, let's see, we just wrapped up Super Bowl not too long ago. Our old user D Waters beat Retro in the Super Bowl. Had a pretty decent margin, and then that led to some controversy about D Waters' gameplay style. Particularly, people were accusing him of abusing the flats, which basically is throwing short yardage or 5 to 7 yard routes or whatever. So then that led into some drama, and then D Waters, he's no longer in the league. So I was going to ask you guys, who do you think will end up being in the Super Bowl this season?
I think it's going to be Retro against maybe Buccaneers. I don't know. I don't really know who's top in NFC right now. I haven't looked at the rankings.
I've got Patty playing Pat-Man. I'm curious to see if Pat-Man can keep it up. He's beat Retro both times this season. I think it really depends on his draw in the playoffs. If he can keep it up and get a bye, I think his odds are a lot better. I think there are certain people that he doesn't match up well. If you can kind of stop those short routes and get to his quarterback, he will throw interceptions, and that'll cost him in the long run. But he's getting better, and I think that he's got a pretty significant chance of making the Super Bowl. Now, if they play, I think it'll be anybody's game. I think that Patty with the Cowboys is probably the best offensive play caller in our league. and he's pretty good at defense. So I'm going to give him the edge and say that he wins this year's Super Bowl, and we'll have another new scrub Super Bowl winner. Now, with that being said, I think Derek could absolutely make the Super Bowl if somebody else knocks out Retro. That seems to kind of be his kryptonite, which there's nothing wrong with that. As Derek knows, we all have our kryptonites in this league because I can't ever fucking beat him. So, you know, all that goes around. Unfortunately,
you have one more chance this season.
Yeah, we'll see because this is such a banner year for me. I'm sure it'll go well.
I mean, it went into overtime last time, so.
All right, guys. Well, that's our Super Bowl predictions. We're going to move into our unhelpful advice for a scrub segment, a segment we haven't done in a while. This is an old question sent in actually last season, and we'll see if we can help this scrub out. So this anonymous scrubber wrote in. He needs a little advice. He said, let me tell you about myself. I'm a sophomore in college, and I realized that last semester I didn't do anything at all. I was going to class, I would come home, do homework, maybe sleep, and that was how I spent the semester. At the end, I felt pretty lonely. Oh, God, so lonely. And I'm asking you guys if you can give me some advice. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to join a fraternity. I figure if I did that at least, I would have something to do. Please help me out and give me some advice. Derek, have you ever been in the Greek system or been around it?
Nope, not at all. Throughout college, I just made friends with whoever I was sitting beside in class, and other than that, yeah, I didn't feel like paying money to be in a fraternity. I thought it was kind of pointless in my opinion, but it's kind of up to him, not up to me. So if he feels that he can make friends in a fraternity, then go for it.
You're supposed to be giving him advice, not telling him, oh, you can do this if you want to. He's asking you if you should.
Okay.
And Lauren, what do you think? What are your thoughts on fraternities and whether or not guys should join them for, social gain?
I mean, you can. They're helpful to make a lot of friends, but it takes up a lot of your time because there's so many events. Plus, you have to pay a lot of money just to get into them every year.
Yeah, for sure. They can be kind of expensive. I was in a frat, and I was kind of an introvert in high school. I played sports and stuff, and I was pretty good at, okay at sports. But even with that, I don't know. I kind of kept to my own and was kind of shy in high school. And I will say for me personally, going into a fraternity, since there were guys that I played football with that were already in it, it was a pretty easy transition. And that kind of helped me come out of my shell. Law school probably ultimately helped me come out of my shell the most. But that definitely helped a lot. Now, when I look back on that period of my life, would I do it again? Kind of knowing what I know now, no, probably not. But I probably wouldn't be the person I am now without, taking the route that I took. So kind of like Lauren was saying, I think it kind of depends on who you are as a person. If you're kind of shy and, you have a really hard time making friends, it may be perfect for you. But you also have to remember that in a fraternity, it's not always going to be pleasant, and you may not get in a good one. So while you may have some friends, it may not be the end-all, be-all of your college experience. Some people think of fraternities as Animal House and all these wild and crazy college events, which it can be some of that, depending on, who you're hanging out with, what fraternity you're in. And also it can be really expensive, like she said. So ultimately, you just gotta, I don't know what your financial situation is. I don't know if your mom and dad or whoever pay for whatever. If they do, maybe it's a perfect opportunity for you to get in and kind of spread your wings a little bit. But ultimately, just go out and hang out with people. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, that kind of wraps up the segments I had planned. I mean, this is a mini podcast, so we didn't go all out and do the hour-long podcast like we normally would. I know a lot of people were really excited to get you two on the podcast together. One, because, of course, everybody likes both of you and enjoy your company and chat. Two, to prove that your girlfriend is a real person. And three, to just hear her on the podcast and ensure the lovely members of Scrubs that she does play her own games, and she beat Broncos on her own. So I think Broncos has accepted it himself, but maybe a couple other people have not. I don't
He
know.
was very depressed
I
after
think, yeah,
it happened. Like very.
I think he's off suicide watch, so that's good. So with that being said, guys, I think this is going to wrap up this mini-sode of the Madden Scrubs podcast. I want to thank Lauren and Derek coming on, our Titans and Chiefs user. I fully expect Derek to continue his winning ways in Scrubs, and I'm sure we'll see nothing but improvement from Lauren as she continues to learn the Madden game. I mean, this is a fairly skilled league, and I think it at times can be hard for anybody, especially a newcomer to the game and to CFM leagues. So I have to give her props for even putting up with all of us idiots, and some idiots more than others, as we've heard. But with that, I'm gonna wrap this up, and thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Plug your controller in the port that's right there next to mine. You can have the bonus points so you can earn the extra life. Carry you to the goal when your health is almost through. In this game of life, you're my player too. We'll quest together, fighting evil, gaining EXP. Random encounters, they don't matter, 'cause it's you and